On this episode of the podcast, we are heading to South Haven to talk with Jen Sistrunk. And our next guest is a dear friend of ours that we talk to all of the time. Jen from South Haven, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
How is this going for you? How is ESTO going?
It's going great. This is my first one, so I'm just excited to be here and kind of mingle with others that are in this space. It's very exciting.
Yeah, and it feels like the energy has been ticking up, right? We've been here since Saturday, and it feels like mid-afternoon yesterday we've kind of reached this epic of energy. What is the thing that excites you most about being here? It's your first time. Like, what are the things you're looking to kind of dig in? Is it networking? Is it a particular speaker? What are the things you're excited about?
Sure. I think for the most part, it's just networking and talking to other people that are in this industry from other states. You know, we're all a close-knit family here in Pure, Michigan, but to get to talk to people, you know, from California and Hawaii even, and see that we're all the same, but we're all we're all different. I just think that that's very exciting to network and figure out what they're doing and maybe get some reinforcement that we're doing things right.
So, Jen, obviously you and I have worked together on a lot of different projects, but for people who might be, you know, here at ESTO and kind of learning about Michigan because they've never been, it's their first time in Michigan, maybe not their first time at ESTO. Talk to us about South Haven and what makes it so special.
Sure. So South Haven is strategically located right on Lake Michigan. So that's why people come for the beach. That's our biggest asset. But we also have so many other things to offer too. You know, we're a very small town. We're very quaint, very walkable. So you can park your car downtown and do all of the great things that we all like to do, like shop and eat and go to the beach and just do anything and stay downtown also. We have a lot of great trail systems. So if you're an outdoor enthusiast, you can bike, you can hike, all those great things. You know, we're known for the beach, but there's so many more things to do in our tiny little space.
One thing that I always like to ask people is, okay, so what do you find yourself doing on the weekend? What are some local things that, you know, not everyone knows about?
Sure. So I'm a foodie. I love food. I love a good greasy spoon. So I like to kind of find my way a little ways out of town, a little further north into some of those little hidden breakfast spots where most of our visitors don't know about. I don't know if I should share those secrets or not, but that's what I like to do. Just adventure and go find new things. There's always something new to find, even though I was practically born and raised in South Haven, but there's still always something to find. So I still find myself just venturing out and finding new fun things to do.
One of the through lines we've noticed all week as we've been here is this idea that human beings who are good at running a DMO or a CVB, the key thing that makes them good is curiosity, and you have that in spades, right? And so for you, what makes you, like you said, you're seemingly born and raised, right? What continues to get you curious about South Haven and the human beings that come to visit you?
Oh, wow, that's an excellent question. So I guess I just get excited when other people want to come visit us. It keeps me on my toes, so I'm always like, what's that new restaurant? I have to go check out that new restaurant, and then we tell our guests about it. So I just think South Haven is always changing. Like, it doesn't matter when you came. If you came 30 years ago, there's still some things that are the same. Or if you came last week, there's still brand new things to explore in South Haven. So I think just figuring out what those things are and enjoying those things together with our guests is really exciting.
So we're in day 3 of ESTO. What is one thing that you've taken away so far that really just kind of like piqued your interest?
Well, what has piqued my interest? Well, all the beer offerings are awesome. You know, we're in Beer City, so that's exciting. Just being downtown and being able to, you know, walk here and stay at the Amway. The Amway is a beautiful, beautiful hotel. You know, I've been there a few times, haven't had an opportunity to stay the night until now, so that's really exciting. I just think just the atmosphere and the energy and all of us that are just excited to travel and to talk about travel is exciting to me.
And what is that climate, right? We're coming out of COVID and we're kind of in whatever the next chapter is, right? What are you hearing from your cohorts in the space about where travel is right now?
Sure. I think there's different levels to that also. You know, depending on where you're located, I think all of us went through something a little bit different during the pandemic. Obviously, we all struggled, but in our case, you know, we are on Lake Michigan, So we kind of did okay during the pandemic. And so we're seeing, we had a great year last year. This year, things are good too, but now we're seeing people go to concerts and go to, sporting events, and we don't have those things in South Haven. So I think what that means, it's a little bit different for us along the lake shore as opposed to, our friends over in Detroit or
Sure.
even our friends, across the country. So, it's great to hear that overall feeling of where we think that we're going, but I guess for the most part, it's kind of, you need to narrow it down to your destination and what that looks like for you.
Was there anything, I don't think I've asked you this in the many times that we've talked, but was there anything during COVID that you and your team learned that you now do as a permanent basis? Like an example would be a social district, right? Mm-hmm. Like a lot of towns had a social district and went, wait, this is cool. We should keep this social district.
Yeah.
Like, what things did you guys go through that you went, oh man, that was sort of an aha moment. We should totally keep doing that.
Yeah. That's a great question. So in 2019, we were designated a Pure Michigan Trail Town right before the pandemic hit. And so what we saw during the pandemic was that people wanted to get outside. They wanted to enjoy the trails. And we said, oh, wow, well, we should probably take this and run with it. So we invested in a lot of signage and wayfinding, things like that, really started to market our trail assets, whether they're land trails, water trails. And we just continued with that. We found that people want to be outside. And so we just kept pushing that and kept marketing that and just telling people that our asset is not just the lake, it's also our trail systems as well.
And on that note, I also want to kind of remind people that South Haven is a 4-season town, right? There's stuff to do all year round. Can you talk a little bit about, I know it's a ways off. It's super humid today. It feels like we're in a rainforest. However, snow and winter season is on the horizon. But you guys do, it's an amazing town during the winter. Can you talk about that?
It is. It's very magical.
It's like, I don't want to, but it's a magic time all the time. But if you've never been there in the winter, it's just got this thing going on.
Yeah. So picture like a Hallmark movie.
Sold. Okay.
So there's.
Yeah, it's right up your alley
It
for
is.
sure.
Eric was there. I mean, in the prime winter, I think it was we had the most snow ever the day that Eric was there for the first time. So it's very magical. We have an ice skating rink right downtown. There's a pavilion. In the summer, it's our farmers market, and then in the winter, we turn that into an ice skating rink. With the twinkle lights underneath, and the snow is falling. We have our traditional small town Christmas parade. We light up all the lights downtown and light the tree together with the mayor. It definitely is that like Hallmark movie kind of thing, with the shops and things. And it's a slower pace of life. Not everybody wants to be around the crowds or packed into a beach. Some people enjoy sitting by a fire and watching the snowfall. I mean, the Black River is beautiful in the winter. It freezes over. Come see the lighthouse. The lighthouse is so majestic in the winter with all the ice coverings. It really is a completely different atmosphere.
Jen, last question, and I'll kind of let you get on with the conference goings. You have had your hands in many parts of this organization till you became the person running the organization. In your mind, twofold. A, what is a project that you want to make sure you finish before you move on to what's next? And what do you hope your legacy will be in South Haven when this chapter is done and you move on to whatever you're going to do next?
Sure. What project I would like to see through?
Like, is there one thing that you went, oh, I've always wanted to see this in South Haven?
I would really like to see some sort of indoor conference space or just a space to have indoor activities.
Sure.
We talked about the winter, which is great if you're an outdoor enthusiast, but if you're not, there's not a large space to gather. Not that we need DeVos or anything, but just a space, and we're on our way. We did get a space. We did just get a new museum that can house about 60 people in one space. But I just think that would be a game changer for our community to be able to offer a space for us in the winter. And I think it's doable. We have a destination development manager, and so we are investing in a lot of those things. And those are some things that are on our list, and I'm very confident that we can get some of those things done.
And then that second part, because people who may not know you very well, like you work tirelessly for this locale. So what do you want that legacy to be? Like when people look back and go, Jen was working to make South Haven this premier destination, and you want to be remembered for what?
Sure, just probably tying the locals in with the guests. You know, we have a ton of guests that come to town, and you know, being a native myself, you know, I understand the importance of travel and understand how it brings us together. And I would hope that this would cut my role as, you know, the director of tourism, I guess is what you'd say in South Haven, and also as a resident to help our guests understand our residents and our residents understand our guests, and that we all live in a great town that we want to share and be proud that we have people that want to come enjoy it too.
All right. And if people want to come enjoy it too, where do they go, Jen?
They go to the Visitors Bureau first.
Awesome. Jen, have a great time. Thanks
Yeah.
for stopping by.
Thanks, Eric. Thank you.
Thank you.